Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday morning Pilates. I hope you guys are doing well, feeling strong, and still motivated hopefully, even though it is unfortunately a little bit wet today. And we've been lucky, it's been nice and sunny up until now, but we have some rain today, so hopefully this will be the highlight of your day. We'll get moving, we'll take it from there. As always, leave me a comment, let me know how things are going, if you have any issues that are going on with the session. And that way I can try and catch up with as we're doing it and see if there's anything I can change or add in if that's something that suits you a little bit better. Alright, good stuff. So we're going to start today on your back, so you're going to lie down on your mat. We're going to start with Pendulum Stretch, so it's hands wide, palms down, knees and feet together. Knees bent, just pointing up toward the ceiling, and just going to let both knees drop to one side. And then slowly twist and drop down to the other side. So you're just going to allow your legs to rock from side to side. This will help stretch out your hips and your lower back as you just gently rock from side to side. One more time. Good. And take the feet a little bit wider now. Reach the hands up towards the ceiling. And hold that position for me. What we're going to do is take one leg up into a tabletop position. Try and set that leg, hold it there. Think about your pelvic tilt, little squeeze through your abs, and then just hold that position now as your right arm starts to go towards the floor. Bring the arm back, switch legs, left leg in tabletop, left arm reaches. So this is a really controlled motion like a dead bug, and we're going to do dead bugs later on. It's a good ab exercise. We're just thinking about getting you to control your lower back position. So as your arm extends, you don't want to dip and arch and create movement here. You want to be as stable as you can. Maintain that neutral spine position so that your back isn't moving. One more time. On left leg lifted, left arm moving. Good. From there, keep the arms up, but bring the knees in and then wrap the arms around your legs. And then just take a little rock from side to side. Good, feet back down into a pelvic tilt now. Hands flat, rib cage down, belly button down, tilt the hips, squeeze your glutes, lift your backside just 1 inch off the floor. And then relax. So it's just this tilt and roll. And again, I want you to spend a little bit of time here getting used to that movement, okay? Just the squeeze and engagement and roll back down. Squeeze and engage and back down. Nice and easy. Again, we're going to work through some glute stuff very shortly, so we're going to make sure we've got this movement. If you don't have this movement, it's going to make it much harder for you to use your glutes and abs. Obviously, in terms of how we teach Pilates, that's important. They're really key muscles for the stability of your hips, control of your back, and generally making sure that you are nice and strong. As you start to get more and more comfortable with this movement, you can start to increase the range in which you lift up towards the ceiling. But again, make sure you're peeling and rolling through your spine. I don't want you lifting up like a plank of wood. Try and use your glutes and abs, the engagement there, the pull there, to roll through that motion as much as you can. Be hands-on, feel the abs, feel the glutes. Make sure the movements are exactly what you're looking for. And again, if you have any difficulties with this, or any of the movements we're talking about today, of course, let me know. Send me a message, and I'll be happy to try and explain it or help you get that motion set a little bit better. 3, 2, 1, the hips come up, the hands are going to come across your chest now, so no balance. Let your hips drop down 1 inch, squeeze your glutes, drive the hips back up. down, and up. So a little squeeze and engage. Three, two, one, and relax. Very good. Okay. We're going to do one more exercise lying down before we get up and get you moving a little bit. And that's going to be a frog pump, okay? So this is going to, again, there's a small set of movements in what we call an externally rotated position now. So we're really going to get the knees wide. Soles of your feet are flat together, okay? Bring the feet in as close to you as you can. And we're going to try and create that same motion that we just did, that same pelvic tilt. So head down, hands by your side. Think about getting that pelvic tilt. So flatten your back, pull your ribcage down, push your heels together as hard as they can, and squeeze the glutes to lift the hips. This motion should make you feel the glutes a little more. You won't get quite as high because your range is limited by that hip position, but try and do 30 seconds of repetitions here so we really get a good squeeze and activation into our glutes before we go into our next set. You feel a little stretch through the inner thighs as you do this, that's absolutely fine. Sometimes you can be a little tight there. This motion just really stretches out into it through the position. One more time, squeeze your glutes, push the heels together, drive the hips up, and then relax back now. Hug your knees into your chest, and again just take a little rock from side to side. Okay, good stuff. So now we're going to get a little bit dynamic. So we're going to start with a leg swing, something for balance. We'll just take a leg forward and back, keeping the head up nice and tall, letting the leg swing forwards and back. Try and maintain good posture, don't allow the swing to roll you around. And switching legs. Again, as you do this, make sure you don't have anything to kick. Good, shake the legs out, okay. So, we're going to go down into a little squatting motion, just see if we can get some movement into your hips and knees. So, feet a little bit wider than your hips. All we're going to do is start to come down into a little squat and back up. Little squat and back up. And when I say little squat, what that means is I want you to think about pushing your hips out behind you a little bit, okay? So all we're going to do is encourage a bit of range here, okay? So if you did any of the classes yesterday, especially the high intensity one in the evening or the glute class in the morning, you might feel your legs. So all we're trying to do is encourage a bit of range here. We're not going to do a lot of repetition, not going to make it too difficult, but over a period of 60 seconds or so, I want you to get used to getting down to further into your squat. And it's important you keep your head up, keep looking forward, use your arms as a counterbalance if you wish, but you're going to come right down, get to a point where you sit right down into that squat, okay? And eventually you want to get to a point where you're getting to your maximum range, where you're feeling a stretch. You might feel some extenders in your back stretching, that's okay. But you want to feel it around your hips, inner thighs, quads are important. You feel comfortable holding at the bottom for a split second, then even better. Two more. Good, final one, we're going to squat down and we're going to hold this one at about 90%, so not as far down as you can, but about 90% for me, okay? From now, we need to come onto your toes, so your heels are going to lift off the ground. Now, try and stay in this low position and see if you can walk forward 4 steps. And then see if you can walk back 4 steps. If you find it difficult, it's okay, it is difficult. But try and challenge the stretch, keep the knees wide, stay on your toes. It's really going to help you open up your hips. Good. One more time, we're going to come forward and back. Good. And then come all the way back up. Again, we're going to hold on for balance. This time we're going to swing the leg in front of the body. Trying to lift the leg out to the side, whilst trying to maintain a nice controlled body position. Good. Switching legs. Good. Nice work. Good. Back onto your mat. And this time we're going to start to create a little bit of what we call a lateral movement. Try and get some movement side to side into a little bit of a squat, okay? So we're going to come extra wide this time. So feel a little bit extra wide in what we call a sumo position. That means your toes are going to be turned out for 45 degrees as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly shift our weight from side to side in that movement, okay? But as you do more and more of it, is you're going to start to sink down and down and really start to sit into that movement until you can really get down to the bottom, shifting away from side to side. Come back up and repeat. And as you do that, it's your range. So how far I can go and how far other people can go is very individual. Don't feel like you have to go so far. Just get to a point where you're going to feel the stretch around your hips and around the front of your thighs as you stay down into that motion, okay? I'm going to do it for another 15 seconds or so. Again, if you're fairly comfortable being up high and getting that shift, that's up to you. Try and feel comfortable shifting the weight from side to side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shake the legs out. Not too bad, not too bad at all. Okay, so we're going to do a slide movement now. Okay, so we want to try and create this lateral lunge movement with a sliding position. Okay, so if you can find something for me, like if you have a hard floor, that you have a towel or a cloth or something that's going to slide along the floor, that is going to be absolutely perfect. If you have a carpet you're doing this on, grab a carrier bag or something that's got a little bit of to reduce the friction so you can do it, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to have one foot on the mat and we're going to have the toes of the other foot onto the material that's going to slide, okay? So what we're not going to do is we're not going to put loads of weight on this foot, okay? In fact, the leg that's on the slider is going to be really, really relaxed. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do a lunge movement, okay? So left leg stays still, right leg is going to go back, okay? So what we're going to do is going to push away into a little slider and push back up, okay? So not a full lunge, okay? I don't want you to feel like that knee has to go down, but we're trying to push that leg away so that the hip starts to extend, okay? So by slowing from the side, is as you push that leg away, we're trying to get hip hinge and come back up. There's a little bit of bend in the knees, but you don't have to feel like your knee goes down all the way to the ground, okay? We're trying to hinge and drive back up. What we're focusing on is that movement back up, driving from the front leg. So you're creating this drive and that power, okay? And that's what we're trying to create here. So we're doing that, left leg is staying forward and pushing back up. If you want to turn it into a lunge, you want your back knee to go lower, it will make it harder. It's not the point of what we're trying to do. We're trying to get range around your hips, trying to get that drive forward from that bottom position. So nice and slowly down, drive forward. And when you're using this little bit of friction, what it means is if you shift and hang all your weight back, you're not going to be able to pull it in because it's going to, all the pressure's going to be in it, okay? So it should be quite a smooth movement in and out. So if it feels difficult, you've got too much weight back, lean forward onto that front leg for me, okay? But like I said, we're going to start to add lateral movement now, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to come out diagonally this time for me, okay? So rather than going just straight back, is we're going to come out. If you're on a clock face, as I'm stepping forward, if that's 12 o'clock, we are going to go to sort of 5 o'clock, maybe 4:30 on that clock, okay? So we're going to start to extend out that way and coming back. Now again, the key to this is keeping the weight forward, not bending the back leg too much and driving forward with that left glute, okay? So take it out, push up. What you'll find that will naturally happen is your left leg will want to aim a little bit diagonally out now, almost towards on a clock face or the 10:30, the opposite range of the movement. That's normal. Don't let that knee fall inwards. If you don't have anything slidey to do this with, just do the same motion just without the slider. Just try and step there and step back. Try and keep the weight forward. If you guys have done reformer Pilates, this is one of the benefits of having the reformer and having the springs. It's going to give you a little bit more traction, a little bit more range in some of these movements that help you to challenge these areas. One more time. And then we're going to start to go into that lateral lunge now, okay? So what we're going to do is it's going to go out to the side. We're not quite 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock. So there's a little bit of backward movement, but it's mainly out to the side. Squeeze from the glute. Take it out. Drive it up. This lateral, again, you might feel a inner thigh stretch. That's okay. Down. Drive from that left glute forward, okay? So down. Back up. Again, a little pause at the end of the range. That's going to be your hard work. Again, if you're trying to come up and you feel there's a lot of pressure in that foot, shift your weight slightly. Over to that left hand side. Drive through that left leg. Good stuff. 25 seconds to go. Time for a couple more. Good, lovely stuff. Shake the legs out a little bit. Luckily for you, of course, you've got 2 legs. So, with your mat, if you need to, shift things around so we can do this onto the other side now, okay? Chances are your right leg might be your dominant leg, so you might find this one a little bit easier, who knows? But hopefully you should also be a little bit fatigued, so you'll get a little bit of challenge just from that leg tiredness, all right? When you're ready, we're going to go on the other side. So right foot is forward, left leg is going back. All right, let's go. Taking it away and back up. So again, make sure it's a lean forward from the hips and you're driving through your glute to power the hip back up, okay? So again, it's extending and driving. So really quick motion on the way up, as quick as you can control it, okay? We're not trying to rush, but we're trying to create power. So make it a really slow movement away, drive on the way up. And again, don't think about bending the knees too much. We're trying to extend the back leg away. You can lean forward from the front leg, drive the hip forward. Samson, I see you've turned up, better late than never. Ethel, good to see you in as well. Good, couple more, then we're going to go into that wider movement. All right, so now we're coming out at 5 o'clock, 4:30 on, no, sorry. 7:30 on the clock face now, so a little bit of angle out behind you. So it's not a straight movement. We're going to get a little bit of angle and drive up. Now again, you're going to feel in a thigh stretch. If they're a bit fatigued from what we did yesterday, you're going to feel them. Down, drive up. Step back, maybe a little bit out of frame. Try and keep a little bit of width. You'll feel that stretch, you'll feel the hips work, but keep them still. Try not to allow them to rotate. Try and keep that lean forward over your front leg. Keep that weight over it, push through that glute to stand back up. What we're teaching here is the power of the hips to drive forward from your glutes. Too often we get reliant on using our hip flexors to create some of those motions. We don't want that. We want the glutes, we want the hamstrings, we want the inner thighs, the adductors to be the powerful muscle. 2 more and then we're going to go into the side, the lateral one right out to the side. All right, shake the legs out a little bit. This time we're going out just towards 8 o'clock, okay? Again, you might not feel balanced. Shift more weight onto that front leg. So in this case, my right leg, I don't want to go with it too much. I want to do the opposite as the leg goes away. I want to keep my center of gravity over that right leg. Lean into it, drive up. And again, it's not the back knee bending, it's pushing out, driving up through that glute. Slowly away, pause, drive up powerfully. Good, 20 odd seconds. Nearly there. 5, 4, 3, 2, one last repetition for me. And back in, very nice. You can take your cloth, your bag, whatever you're using, you can just pop it down to the side. And when you're ready, I want you to get back onto your mat for me. We're not finished with these movements yet. What we're going to go into now is going to go into a single leg bridge. Okay, so I'm going to try and get a little bit more sideways. Okay, so we worked on the single leg driving power in that standing position against that resistance. Now we're going to think about trying to really get it stronger, okay? So same motion we've done before in terms of creating a bridge. Hands by your side, knees and feet hip width apart. What we're going to do from there is lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your glutes, drive the hips up and hold. From that position, you're going to take one leg up. So in this case, I'm going to take my right leg up. From there, control down. Slow, slow, slow. When my backside touches, and the moment it touches, I squeeze to my glutes again and drive up. From there, I switch legs. Slow down, control, control, control. My bum touches. I drive back up and I switch. Okay, so every time I get to the top of the bridging motion, I'm going to switch legs. Okay, now it's tougher with the leg up than with both legs down, of course. But the position that I really want you to think about is from the last exercise. So the feeling when we've been doing that sliding motion is that when the leg travels away, we then drive the hips to come forward. Same thing here. Every time your backside touches down, drive the hips up towards the ceiling. Be really powerful with it. Try and squeeze into your glutes. Use your hamstring as much as you can. Think about the muscles that have already been working, okay? And again, your range is very individual. So don't worry about if it's more or less than what I'm doing. Just think about trying to get these muscles in your backside to work. You can always use your elbows if you wish. That's going to help you drive up a little bit harder, but don't cheat and take the weight away from your legs. Remember, be deliberate about driving your hips up as powerfully as you can. Don't be shy about it. From that bottom point, when your backside touches down, power on the way up. Don't be shy, really drive the foot that's on the ground as hard into the ground. Get as much glute activation, glute squeeze as you can, okay? Now you've started to get the motion. We're going to do 3 reps at a time on one leg before we switch now. We're going to increase the amount of fatigue, okay? So top of the range, hold. One leg lifts, in this case my right. Control down. Bum touches, drive back up. Slowly down, drive back up. Slowly down, drive back up. Switching legs. Left leg up, control down. Bum touches, drive up. Come down, bum touches, drive up. Come down, touches, driving up. Good. Switching legs. This accumulation, this 3 repetitions at a time, is just going to get you a little bit more fatigue, okay? So keep working, keep doing that same thing about trying to power up towards the ceiling, okay? But even as you continue to go through this motion, don't forget about how you create that bridging motion, that pelvic tilt, that squeeze of your abs. If your abs aren't working, your glutes aren't going to work the way they can as well. So the best of both is exactly what we're looking for. We're going to go for about another 60 seconds here. So now really start to challenge yourself. If 3 reps in a row is not difficult, do more now. Almost do it until you get fatigued. Do 10, do 12, and you really, really will start to work. But again, focus on that movement. Focus on not allowing your hips to just drop like a plank of wood. Control that roll. Squeeze from the glute. Every time your backside touches down, drive the hip up. Feel the muscle in your backside work. And again, don't be shy about putting your hands onto these muscle parts to feel them working. Sometimes that can be a great way of understanding if you're getting the right muscle activation, if you're new to exercise, or you're not used to these muscles working. Good stuff. 25 seconds to go. Ten seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff. As you just sit and stay lying on the floor, bring the soles of your feet together, let the knees go wide, and we'll just gently rock your hips down until your knees get close to the ground, and just stretch off and open up through the inner thighs. If you've got loads of range and you can get your legs right out wide, then all I want you to do is maintain that position and try and twist your torso instead. Just anything in that range or that rotation that helps you feel a stretch through the top of the inner thighs, that is going to be absolutely perfect. Okay, good stuff. Hug the knees in, good squeeze, and a little rock from side to side. Good. Nice work. Grab yourself a very quick drink. I'm going to go into a little bit of core work. Alright, I'm kind of thankful today isn't quite as hot as well, because especially when I taught my HIIT class yesterday, I left the heating on, which was a bit of a shocker because I was sweating like I was in a sauna. So today, a little bit milder, less sunshine. It's going to make me slightly less sweaty, shall we say. Alright, so we are going to do some rollbacks, okay? So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this. If you have a sofa or a couch or something, it can be a good starting point, because what you can do is use it just to tuck your feet under, okay? What we're going to do is try and resist gravity, use our core to allow us to roll back slowly, okay? So you're going to sit with your backside as close to your feet as you can in a nice upright position. Now from there, hands up, and we're going to roll back. Now if we roll back, what I don't want us to do is just to fall. That's not what I want. If the top of your back is the first bit to touch down, no good. We want to roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. So we're going to think about the pelvic tilt. Think about what we did in our bridges, is we're going to roll down. Push the belly button out. Roll through the spine. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. All the way, controlling all the way until our head touches. Take a deep breath in. As we breathe out, pull into our abdominals. Think about that deep breathing ab exercise we've been practicing. So deep breath in as we breathe out. Sit yourself all the way back up. Little tilt of the hips and roll through the spine. Nice and slow. Control, 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 control. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Coming all the way back up. Now again, if you haven't got something to tuck your feet under, if you're still quite new to this motion, it's difficult. You can get someone to hold your feet. In which, in some cases, you may just need to lift your feet an inch or 2 as you do it. If you can do it with something tucked under like a sofa or a chair, that's great. Whatever you do it on, please be careful. Make sure that whatever you're doing it on isn't going to move, so that you remain nice and safe, okay? Deep breath in, we control down. Breathe out. And we continue. Really slow, especially this moment here, holding at this bottom end of the range for just a second. Really get to the point where you feel those abdominals activating. The top bit shouldn't be too tough, but as we get towards the bottom, gravity really wants to kick in. It really wants to bring you down, so really try and control against it as much as you can. Good. If you need more of a challenge, just take your feet away from the sofa. See if you can keep your feet down through the motion. If your hips are kicking in a little bit, you might find that as you get towards that bottom end of the range, feet want to lift. But try to keep them down through that range. If you've got the sofa, you can keep using it. Whatever helps you to get your abs to work the hardest. Okay, that's what we're looking for here. And again, this is a reactive exercise to that rolling back motion. It's only going to help us get stronger through our glutes and get better at that motion that we were practicing earlier, that hip hinge motion. It's going to help us get stronger through that motion, okay? So we're going to continue here, 60 seconds, controlling through that roll back motion. Breathe in at the bottom, Breathe out. Use your abdominals to come back up. Deep breath in, control. Pull your abs back. Feel them work. Point where you feel it. Slow, slow, slow. Down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pull up through the abs. As you do this, don't tuck your chin. Don't look at your own knees. Try and look out. For me, I've got a window right there. That's perfect. Look out of the window. Try and hold that eye line all the time. That keeps that chest position up, the head position up. That's perfect. I don't want you to get tucked down. I want you to feel your neck or your shoulders working whilst you're doing this motion. Slowly down. Breathing out, coming back up. We're going to keep going. We're going to go for another 30 seconds or so. Hey Shazad, I do have some music. I will turn it up a little bit. Try and always keep it a little bit mellower for my Pilates, just so people can hear. There's a lot of explanation. Good, time for 2 more. Really control, roll through the spine. Slow that movement down right at the bottom for me. 1 more time, slow and control. Good, and relax. You should really have felt those abs starting to work. Luckily for you, we're not done with them. So slide up to the other end of your mat so you're away from a sofa or a chair. And this time we're going to go into a leg drop motion now, okay? So just as we did that motion just there, we really focus on holding that pelvic tilt position. Same thing. Hands wide, palms flat. Make sure you kind of have a stable position. Legs up into a tabletop position. Breathe in. Take one leg down, touch the floor. Breathe out as it comes back. Breathe in, same on the other side. So as we continue, as we drop the leg down, same thought process as we rolled back, is that we're maintaining that flat back position. What I don't want to see as that leg drops down is that your rib cage lifts, so you create a lift in your spine, okay? The challenge is to maintain that position as the legs move almost separately from the body. Try and control each movement. Deep breath in as the leg goes down. Breathe out as the leg comes back up. And try and set that motion as you continue through it. Try and let your breathing dictate your speed rather than anything else. And if you're nice and slow, if you've done the exercises that we've just done really well, you shouldn't take too long to really begin to feel your abs work. And that's great. That's exactly what we're looking for. If you're finding it's easy, you can go into a double leg version of this, extending both legs down to the floor at the same time. But again, the key here is not necessarily to have to challenge yourself with both legs, but is to keep that spinal position, okay? Not to let the lower back arch. So if you need more of a challenge, sometimes rather than going double leg, stay single leg, but extend the leg away as you move it rather than just drop the foot towards the ground. The further the leg extends, the further from your center of gravity it is, the more your abs have to work. Keep controlling it with your breathing. And again, get to a point where you feel your abdominals working, okay? What we can do, if you need a little bit more challenge, is also to create what we call an ab prep position. So that would be fingertips to temples, eye line extended up, and then link your fingers behind your head and support your head position, okay? So you're going to sit your head into your hands, okay? So you're not pulling at any point. You're just sitting your head into your hands, an inch or 2 off the floor. Elbows wide. If you can see your elbows in your peripheral vision, you're cheating, okay? Sit your head into your hands. Feel like you're creating this motion by pulling through your upper abdominals, okay? So you'll be able to feel them as you set that position. Legs into tabletop, same motion, up and down. This is just going to keep your upper abs really switched on whilst your lower abs work to control that position. And if you get that correct, you think about that pelvic tilt, you flatten your back, you should really feel your abdominal muscles start to work. Rest when you need to. Keep challenging yourself if you can. 15 seconds or so. And again, if you want the double leg extension, that's only going to make you work harder. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, hug the knees in, good squeeze, little rock side to side. And that really should have helped you get those abs really burning. If you found that wasn't too bad, or you didn't feel your abs, or you felt it in your hips, again, send me a message later and I hope you go through a few things just to make you optimize that movement. Because that's really what we want to do with these things. We want to optimize yours. I can't see your movements, I can't see any little inefficiencies that you have, but again, that's something we can always work on if we need to. From there, when you're ready, you're going to flip over into a plank position. We are going to do just one more core exercise. This one's a little bit about remaining stable as the rest of your body wants to move, okay? So we're going to come up into a plank position, forearms and toes. And all we're going to do here is a knee drop, okay? So feet a little bit wider than normal. And all you're going to do is let one knee drop down and then the opposite. And as you do that, what I want you to do is think about maintaining a flat back, flat hip position. As the knees drop up and move up and down, what I don't want to see is your hips either sliding from side to side or up and down. I want you to try to be as stable as you can. We're going to go for 60 seconds. If you need to take a break in the middle of it, absolutely fine. It's meant to be tough, okay? 3, 2, and 1. Keep the hips still. Think about your pelvic tilt. Think about everything we've done to stabilize and set through the ab position. Same for the shoulders and back. Think about the exercise we've done in the last few weeks about squeezing between your shoulder blades, squeezing under your armpits, setting those positions. Don't forget about that. "25 seconds to go." Think as you do this, don't stick your backside up. It's tempting to do it. Get the weight a little forward. Feel the abs work really hard. 15 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Drop your hips down to your heels, knees a little bit wide into a V shape and into a child's pose stretch. Really reach the arms out in front and enjoy. Tiny little rock and twist from side to side if you want to feel a slightly better stretch. Good. Put yourself back up into your hands and knees. We're going to go into a thread the needle stretch after that core work. Again, try and make sure we've got a good bit of range and motion through our torso. So, hands and knees. Right hand comes underneath. You're going to slide it away along the floor. Keep extending until the shoulder touches down. Enjoy the stretch. Bring the arm back. Do the same the other way. And switching again. And again. One more to each side. Good, lovely stuff. Again, just sit the weight back into a little child's pose stretch. And again, that little rock from side to side. All right, good stuff. Flat onto your back. We did a dead bug movement earlier, which is that opposite arm and leg motion. We're going to do something similar, a little bit out to the side this time. We're going to work a little bit on oblique control, or that QL, there's muscle to the side of your body to stabilize you, okay? So, first exercise, flat on your back. Left leg comes up into tabletop, hands up towards the ceiling. From there, you're going to take your right arm, you're going to take your left arm out and bring it back. Just keep that motion going, left arm going wide and coming back. This will seem really easy, don't worry. Okay, now what we're going to do is come both legs into tabletop. Same thing, left arm going wide. Nice and slowly. Now, same motion, left arm going wide as that right leg extends. We'll get a little bit of work into the side of your torso to balance you as that motion happens. Keep the back flat, still think about that pelvic tilt thing we've done today. 4 more. Keep the right arm and the left leg as stable as you can. 2 to go. 1 more time. Good, back to the center, feet down, deep breath. And we go again, legs back up into tabletop. This time left leg is going to move and the right arm is going to go wide. So right arm up, right leg up, just do a few motions for me. Get used to that movement. Both legs up into tabletop when you're ready. And again, maintaining your stability as the right arm goes wide, the left leg comes down to the floor. Again, focus on setting that hip position. You should be getting a little fatigued with this, okay? So it should be a challenge. You should feel tough to hold it through your core. Embrace that, enjoy it, and keep working. Still let your breathing control the motion in on the way down, out on the way up. Good, 2 more. 1 more time. And again, hug the knees in. Not bad at all. We are nearly there. We have just 1 exercise left to go before you get to enjoy the rest of your day. And obviously that includes coming along to this evening's upper body class. Even though there is a little bit less upper body stuff than sometimes normal, that is because there's a class this evening, 7:30, where we're going to do more and more upper body stuff. So we are going to finish with a side to side plank, okay? So that means you're going to be set in a plank position, forearms running alongside each other, okay? Feet a little bit wider than a normal plank, so quite wide on your mat. And all that means we're going to do is set your hip position, reach through one arm, up towards the ceiling. Look at your fingers, bring the arm back, and do the same on the other side. So we're just rotating and bringing the arm up. You're thinking about turning from your chest, extending the arm up, feeling that work into the side of your body, getting a bit of work to stabilize through your shoulders and arms as well. They generally try and teach us with your hips a little bit higher than normal. Don't want your hips to drop down. That's the last thing we want. We're going to go for 60 seconds, and then you get to enjoy the rest of your day. Let's go. If you find it tough in a full plank to do this, then feel free just to do this from your knees in a half plank and you'll still get the challenge. If it's tough on your shoulders to set that position, just take a rest every couple of repetitions. We're past halfway. Keep controlling that motion. Try and really look for the fingers as you rotate, so you turn through the chest. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Sit your weight back onto your heels. Reach the arms up and take a bend from side to side. Really reach into it. Try and keep the arms as extended as we can. Shake the arms out a little bit. Link the fingers behind your back. Push the knuckles down. Lift the head and chest up. and then bringing the head down to the floor, reaching the arms up behind you. And again, a little shift from side to side whilst you're there. And shake it out. Well done. Tuesday morning Pilates is done. You're free to enjoy the rest of what I hope is, hopefully it gets sunnier, hopefully it doesn't rain all day. But I hope you have a great day. As always, any questions, any feedback is greatly appreciated. Again, do make sure you have a look at the class schedule this week, as it is much different to normal. You'll see more classes on there, including this evening's upper body class. And should you have any questions, anything you want to see, then do let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you later on, either today or tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, there is an ab and core class at 9 o'clock. And just a reminder, Pilates on Thursday is 8 AM rather than 9 AM. Again, I'm trying to try a few different times, see if more people can deal with it in case of work or children, things like that. So if you can get to that, then great. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Rita, thank you. Mortsavi. Yale, good to have you in. Arena. Laura, thank you. Pera. Sylvia, Ricardo, Barry's Law, fantastic. Good to see you all in and enjoying the class. That's what I love to hear. Maria, Liliane, fantastic. Nida, thank you. Marin, as always, looking strong. Calipo 17, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's great feedback as well, so thank you very much. Angie, I hope you and Gary are doing well. Burst Unique, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Again, let me know if you had any other issues in terms of how the picture comes out. Otherwise, I can always try and modify that in the future if necessary. Marion, yes, I'll see you tonight for sure. I'll be there. Captain 699, thank you. Great feedback. Love to know that you enjoyed it. All right, guys, thank you, and have a great day.